Hello guys, welcome to our second part. আমরা Furina story quest guys last ভিডিওতে কন্টিনিউ করছিলাম আর আমাদের এখন guys লাস্ট পার্টটাই বাকি আছে যেটা হচ্ছে ভেলমন্টকে আমাদের খুঁজে বের করতে হবে। এবারে ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যে ভেলমন্ট দাদা আমাদের কোথায় আছে এটা কি আমাদের পেদাতে হবে কি পেদাতে হবে না?
Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
Guys, আমরা একটা লাক্সারিয়াস চেস্ট দেখতে পাচ্ছি।
I think this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock. Don't worry, we should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you? We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium, as Furina said so herself.
Precisely. And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway.
Gone, Kaka, gone.
As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress more than anything.
Nice.
Sounded so smug. Second-hand embarrassment is unbearable. Indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I swoops in to save the day. Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Furina.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
No worry, piece of cake.
চলো গাইস আমরা স্টার্ট করে দিই জায়গায় গাইস মানে আলাদাই ব্যাপার চলছে। এইবারে গাইস আমাদের ঢিল্লুকপনা করা শুরু করেছে। ফাইনালি একটুখানি অ্যাকশন পেলাম আমরা, নাহলে তো পুরো কাটসিনেই গাইস চলছিল আমাদের সব কিছু। নেমেছে গাইস ছটা।
You certainly live up to your reputation.
আচ্ছা
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards.
চলো গাইস আমরা ভেলমন্ট
Are you there?
পাবলিকের কাছে চলে এসেছি।
It's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troupe. We now have everyone.
So, you think I care just as much as everyone else about making the little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit on stage.
ব্যাড ব্লাড আছে গাইস, ব্যাড ব্লাড আছে।
Anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Fimo. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my... The little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire.
কারণ এতজনকে পালতে গেলে গাইস ফাইনান্সিয়াল সিচুয়েশন অলওয়েজ ডায়াল
came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized the drink in question was synth.
Okay.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
ইনটক্সিকেশনের
I
মতো
freaked out when I saw
নিছিল
the boxes, and I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
And then,
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault.
তো গাইস ফিলমন্ট কিছু একটা স্মাগলিং করতে গেছিল,
Things only got
মাঝখান
worse
থেকে
for me.
বেরিয়েছে সিন্থ।
The synth merchant just wouldn't let up. And suddenly,
Hey,
the director told us
stay
all
back
to
to
leave
it.
the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything. Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
হ্যাপি তো নয় ভাই।
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean?
বলো,
You were afraid.
রক্তটা বক করছে তোমার।
Life and death situation. We could have saved her. How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him.
Stay calm. How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered. She was the love of my life. And he has the gall to try and high road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show.
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. In my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Get out of my sight. Go, get lost. I don't...
That's enough. You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you. Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I could tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world
ওকে,
outside.
সে তো বটে,
That's
সে তো
how you
বটে।
should remember her. And that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. If you really love each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You can... What are you laughing at? I don't... Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice. Really?
আমার গাইস নজরটা কিন্তু পেছনের লাক্সারিয়াস চেস্টের উপরেই আছে এখনো।
Of course she was. Even...
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, Andy, what are we gonna do about it? Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
ওকে, তাহলে ফরিনা তোমার কি সাজেশন এন্ডিংটা নিয়ে?
What do you mean? The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging... If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feelings.
no.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now and wait for our good news.
তাহলে গাইস আমাদের যেতে হবে প্যালে মেরমোনিয়াতে, কিন্তু এখানে গাইস আগে একটা জিনিস আমি পিন দিয়ে রাখবো, সেটা হচ্ছে লাক্স সিএইচ লাক্সারি চেস্ট গাইস, মানে লাক্সারিয়াস চেস্ট একটা রয়েছে এখানে।
Guess we can rest a bit.
তাহলে গাইস ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে এটা কোথায় চলে যায়? স্টোরি থেকে একটুখানি আমরা ব্রেক অফ করছি ঠিকই, কিন্তু স্টোরিটা এমনিও যা টানছে সেটার থেকে আমরা ব্রেক অফ সেরকম কিছুই করছি না।
So you know your stuff, huh?
একটা কিছু গাইজ আনলক হয়েছে নিচে। ওকে, মানে পার এনিমি ডিফিট আমরা ছোট চেস্ট পাবো, যেই মাত্র বাকি দুটো আনলক হয়ে যাবে যেই মাত্র গাইজ বাকি দুটো আনলক হয়ে যাবে সেই মাত্র আমরা আমরা কি পাবো, লাক্সুরিয়াস চেস্ট। ঠিক আছে গাইজ, ওটা আমরা ফার্মিং এর টাইমে করব, এখন নয়। আমরা অলরেডি গাইজ স্ক্রিনটা দিয়ে রেখেছি, কারণ গাইজ সত্যি কথা বলবো নেটল্যান্ডে এখন আমরা ঘুরে বেড়ানোটা মানে নেটল্যান্ডে এক্সপ্লোরেশন এখন করাটা আমাদের কাছে একটু রুডিমেন্টারি, অতটা হবে না, মানে প্রোডাক্টিভ হবে না গাইজ। কারণ অলরেডি 98-99% আমরা চলে এসেছি সেটা। যতক্ষণ আমরা কম্পাস বা বাইনোকুলার রেজোনেন্স স্টোনটা পাচ্ছি ততক্ষণ আমাদের কোনো লাভ হবে না, অ্যাটলিস্ট গাইজ এক্সপ্লোরেশনে কোনো লাভ হবে না। আমরা যদি ফার্মিং করতে চাই, যেমন ডোমেইন ফার্মিং, এইসব আমাদের চলবে।
She was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook. Hey, it's full of script lines and sketches too. Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage. Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. To whoever discovered, looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments, and as if we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vacher's guilt. Vacher took so many lives. It's just so unthinkable how many victims he had. I guess
Vacher
Aurelie
ke
must have
kaloge,
written all
Vacher
this
ke
down in
kaloge.
the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off. Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
Someone else was taken, that makes perhaps that makes 6, perhaps 7 experimental subjects. And anyone sees these, to safety I did important peace for the guys, life to form future, regret Cleo. কিছু তো আছে।
She was so terrified. She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troupe. I can't bear to think how painful and... wait. This part...
It continues, however, one page is drawn out, folded up. It is next to the last blank page. At the bottom of the folded note, there are two lines. Aurelie has written in handwriting, much more legible than before. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. Face suffering and loneliness. This is truly what you want. Because I am an older sister to them, I love them. Okay.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the little Oceanid?
Because I am an older sister.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. I'm sure this is what the troupe would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration. Let's go.
গাইস ফরিনাও এখানে হালকা মানে ডিটোন হয়ে গেছে ভয়েসেও। চলো গাইস রিহার্সাল লোকেশনে ফেরত চলে যেতে হবে। আমরা উঠতে উঠতে স্পাইডারম্যান হয়ে যাব, কিন্তু গাইস একটা ব্যাপার, আমাদের কাছে কিন্তু ফিনিশ নেই। আমরা নর্মালভাবে স্পাইডারম্যান হব, মানে স্পাইডারম্যান পার্টিকুলারলি নয় গাইস, ভালচার হব, ভালচার।
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself. We know what choice her little Oceanid would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary.
Okay.
Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
I will channel all my regret and put it into my performance. To make
Voice পাল্টে গেল guys.
I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director Aurelie and her alone.
Then it seems like we...
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals, I've learned one important thing. If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role, pouring all your emotion into your performance. And aren't human emotions love, hate, regret? I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing... Thank you for the vote of confidence.
Then, let's not delay things any...
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a proposal.
বলো
During
ডলফি
the
কি চাই?
curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
ঠিক আছে বস, চাপ নেই কোনো।
I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage.
Stage?
New villain, new villain, new villain, new villain.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclese. Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine?
No, that's not.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Believe in yourself.
I have no problem with it then. I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on, we'll need to get the go-ahead from Nervilette.
তাহলে চলো গাইস, আমরা নিউ ভিলেট করে আছি। গাইস নিউ ভিলেট এখন তাহলে কোথায় ঘুরে বেড়ায়? Somewhere fluvial, I guess. নিউ ভিলেটের তো ক্যারেক্টার ইয়েতেও তাই ছিল গাইস। Perhaps we could visit somewhere a little more fluvial. এটা নিউ ভিলেটের সিগনেচার ডায়লগ ছিল।
Looks like I guessed right.
You were just guessing.
Well, you were just guessing.
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, Traveler and Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event.
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult. The story of the little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage. I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Yes.
ছোটখাটো ভাবে
This is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them, so I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and, well, here we are. In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their
Curiosity
lives.
about
I'm truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence,
তাহলে গাইস বোঝাই যাচ্ছে যে নিউ ভিলেট এখন আমাদেরকে হেল্প করতে দ্বিধাবোধ করবে না।
Question like that.
well, if the little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions of the protagonist Cleo are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No exceptions. Nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've
কিন্তু গাইস স্টিল ফরিনার
been well worth the price of admission.
ভিশনটা কি দেবে মানে
Must admit though,
কোশ্চেন মার্কটা কি আসবে ভিশন অ্যাফিনিটি
they're
নাকি
quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not. I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Thanks, Nervalect.
You are very welcome.
ওকে গাইস নিউ ভিলেটের ইনভলভমেন্টও আমাদের কমপ্লিট তাহলে আমরা চলে যাব রিহার্সাল সেন্টারে যেখানে ওরা রিহার্সালটা করবে তাহলে গাইস ব্যাক করে গেলাম
Good
টু দ্য
news,
কাটসিন
everyone. It's thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Nervalette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity, but we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a touching story, a magnificent venue, and last but not least, a passionate and dedicated cast. Now, let's work together and make this show the best it can be. This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation? That's great!
Communication is vital to any good performance.
Look at us.
It's amazing. Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama queen about it all,
Oh.
she's really fired everyone up.
মাইমন ফরিনাকে পিন মারো না তোমার হাওয়া বেরিয়ে
Please
যাবে
feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
Hey, Loic, get over here. Time to practice the opening number.
Cursed Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The
Okay.
ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a fine performance in a long time.
চলে
If
ফরিনা
only.
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage.
Why does it have to be now?
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage any second now. Oh no, not again. But why? What about your new meds? Did they stop working?
They've been getting less and less effective over time. I've had to keep increasing my dose.
ওকে ডোজেজ
I thought they cured it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
I figured whatever it took to get me through this final performance.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking after my health,
I'm sorry.
you... This is a conversation for another...
Miss Furina, I'd like to make a request of you. Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice register could take it. Why?
Please take Dolphy back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale. From the sublime to the ridiculous. After all that, everything's come full circle.
ফুল সার্কেল তো বটে
I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said. Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in too deep. No one likes regrets, myself included. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart. I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, this show is dedicated to the life and legacy of our director. What, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly? It's her pure heart.
ঠিক আছে guys,
Despite all
মেনে
the
নিলাম.
pain and loneliness she had to endure, she never once
In
stopped
this
loving her
respect,
beauty.
Furina আর Cleo একদমই similar.
Well said. I leave director Aurelie.
এইবারে গাইস মেন কাটসিন গুলো শুরু হবে.
Is she here yet?
Will she get here?
She's not coming!
You're wrong. She's here.
ও গাইস আমি মিউট করলাম গাইস.
But what about your wish?
Wish.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
গাইস অসাধারণ ছিল, অসাধারণ কাটসিন ছিল. এটা একটা মিম ভার্সনও বেরিয়েছিল ইউটিউবে, বাট ইট ওয়াজ ডাকস নট ক্যারেক্টার্স. কিন্তু গাইস স্টোরি হিসাবে গাইস অসম স্টোরি.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now? She hasn't been seen for a while now, but she just appears out of nowhere? Gotta say, though, her acting skills are as superb as ever. The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurelie Fumon. Wait, that's not her name. What's going on? I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
হতে পারে কিন্তু চেঞ্জ করছে না.
They didn't use my name during the credits. Hopefully, not too many people recognized me. It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for myself, even if I had no choice. Still, I have to admit that, despite everything, it felt good to be back on the stage again.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Furina.
ওই নাম ভাঙার কথা ছিল না ভাই. হ্যালো
It's not what we agreed on.
So it was Furina after all. She's back.
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
All right, calm down. Don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
Yes, I know the rule, but it should still be applied on a case-by-case basis.
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
ওটা বেশি দিতে হবে।
So easy.
You can sign them for me. This is a great chat and all, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack. Paimon flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to grab the frog vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
Oh, that. I've got no idea what happened there either. But hey, it worked pretty well, didn't it? I bet the audience has never seen such
So
a
guys,
realistic prop.
ফরিনার কাছে
Wait, what about
ভিশন
Dolphy?
ছিল না,
I wonder how she's doing.
এখন ফরিনার কাছে আবার ভিশন
Let's go check on
ফেরত
her
চলে
as soon as we
এসেছে।
finish clearing the stage.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can safely say that we accomplished what we set out to do. I thought Cleo's actor sang very well. I don't know. Maybe that's just...
ঠিক আছে, কেমন ভাই, কেমন ছিল?
Yeah, their technique could use some polish, but
ঠিক দেবে তো, পুলিশ ছিল কিনা বলো।
what a surprise!
Yeah.
আর তোমাদের কাকা কোনো ওপিনিয়ন? कर लो ये कर लो पहले। চলো গাইস, ডলফিন কি অবস্থা দেখে আসি। গাইস, ফুরিনা স্টোরি কোয়েস্টে গিয়ে ফুরিনা কিন্তু নিজের ভিশনটা ফেরত পেলো, মানে নতুন করে ভিশন পেলো আর কি। যেই মাত্র এই স্টোরিটা কমপ্লিট হবে তখন গাইস তোমরাও দেখতে পাবে যে ওখানে কোয়েশ্চেন মার্কের জায়গায় এবার ভিশন লেখা এসে যাবে।
Ah, you're back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
How did the performance go? Was it a success? Did the audience like it?
You'll be
একদম।
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I get don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserves recognition. Even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance. It's safe to say that you made your mark on this memorial show. Well, I've had bad luck ever since I was born.
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't push yourself past your limits so much, your illness wouldn't be flaring up all the time.
Oh, don't you start. I don't have the energy to argue with you right now.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot about each other.
আমি তো বলেছি পাইমন, তুমি বড় হলে বুঝতে
I
পারবে।
don't know what you're talking about.
You mean we never stop arguing with each other? So,
পাইমন ছোট থেকেই বুঝা গেছে গাইস।
next step? After the brilliant performance you put on,
তাহলে মোটেও
I
পাবে।
think you could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little Oceanid to the bigger theater troops out there. That would do wonders for your financial situation. No.
Yeah, it's what we all agreed to.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space. Maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Don't just walk off!
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation with musical.
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll hold off until you've properly recovered as well. What about you, Miss Furina?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests will hound me wherever I go, until I finally acquiesce. You rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Sorry.
তো গাইস, বলেও ফলো করে দিয়েছে
It's quite all
Furina
right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me that perhaps I'm not as averse to a return to the stage as I previously imagined. Maybe Nervilette was right. Maybe Cleo is the right role for me. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself. So, maybe the show will go on for me after all. Yeah.
একদম Furina,
There was once a
একদম
time when I was an actress in a masquerade, seeking only to hide the truth. But from now on, I want to spend my time learning real stories about real people and how they touch the lives of others around them. I want to watch them blossom and wither. See, I'm sure this is what captivated director Aurelie as well.
Sounds like you're ready to stop running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
Then it's a deal. If a vision is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best to honor it.
ভাই গিফট ফ্রম দ্য গডস নয়, গিফট ফ্রম দ্য এলিমেন্টাল ড্রাগনস অফারিং। গাইস আমরা পেয়ে গেলাম 60 কি পেলাম গাইস, এগুলোকে আনলক করে নিই, তাহলে গিয়ে আমি ক্লেম করতে পারবো। তো গাইস এইভাবে আমরা এন্ড করছি আমাদের ফরিনার স্টোরি কোয়েস্ট। তো গাইস আমরা এইভাবে এন্ড করছি আমাদের আজকের ভিডিও। এইবারে গাইস আজকে আমরা রেখে দিলাম এটুকুই। আমরা 60 প্রিমো জেমস টক করে পেয়ে গেছি গাইস, আমাদের কোনো চাপ হয়নি। তো গাইস ফরিনা স্টোরি কোয়েস্টটা তোমাদের কেমন লেগেছে ডেফিনেটলি কমেন্ট করে জানিও। আর একটা জিনিস আমরা ভেরিফাই করে নেবো, দ্যাট ইজ ফরিনার প্রোফাইল স্ক্রিনে এখন ভিশন লেখা চলে এসছে গাইস। এইবারে গাইস আজকে আমরা রাখবো এটুকুই। তোমাদের যদি গোটা স্টোরিটা ভালো লেগে থাকে, মানে ইনক্লুডিং পার্ট 1 আর পার্ট 2, ডেফিনেটলি লাইক করো। তোমাদের কোন পার্টটা সব থেকে বেশি ভালো লেগেছে আমাকে কমেন্ট করে জানিও। আর এরকমই আমরা স্টোরি কোয়েস্ট এক্সপ্লোরেশন কনস্ট্যান্টলি ছাড়তে থাকবো গাইস। মিস সেরকম একটু হতে পারে গাইস, এখন দুর্গাপূজার টাইম চলছে, তো গাইস একটুখানি অ্যাডজাস্ট করে নিও। তাও আমি চেষ্টা করবো আর রেগুলার আপলোড। আমার অফিসে অনেক ঝামেলা চলছিল, বাট উই হ্যাভ সর্টেড ইট আউট অন আ জেন্টলম্যানস লেভেল, এরকমভাবে সর্ট করা হয়েছে। তো গাইস আজকে আমরা রাখছি এটুকুই। আমরা নেক্সট কন্টেন্টের জন্য পাম্পড আপ থেকেও সাবস্ক্রাইব করে রেখো, যাতে একটাও নোটিফিকেশন মিস না যায়। তাহলে গাইস আজকে আমি রাখছি এটুকুই। চলো গাইস, #বাই।